welcome to the Hey Sister podcast, where sisters share real opinions and have honest conversations about life, growth, and everything in between. Hey sisters, how y'all doing?
Hey, sisters.
Well, as always, let's do a quick little check-in before we get into the episode. How is everyone feeling?
Feel halfway to refreshed. I'm not fully refreshed yet, but I'm like on the way there. My apartment looks so crazy, but I'm cleaning. I've done my laundry. So, like, baby steps to getting to refresh, restarted, but we're not there yet.
I'm feeling happy. I just ate a little Twix, and so I had my little sweet treat, and so I'm good to go for the day.
I love a sweet treat.
Mm-hmm.
But dry January is over, so I had my I kind of broke it like 2 days ago because I was like, but I had made a mimosa this morning, and I feel like sometimes I need a little something to keep me going.
No, I'm feeling good too. I'm feeling a little tired, I'm not gonna lie, just because I feel like the past week or so I've been doing really good as far as waking up early and trying to go to the gym in the morning instead of at night when I'm like getting off work and too tired to. But I wasn't able to sleep well last night, and I feel like it just like threw everything off because I already am just trying to go to bed earlier, and then if I stay up late one night, it just throws everything off. So just like trying to stay in routine there. We'll go ahead and get into this week's episode. This week is a Brooklyn production, so let us know what we're talking about this week.
Yes, so today's episode is going to explore body inclusivity through the lens of the Savage X Fenty fashion show. So we're going to be talking about how it disrupted traditional fashion standards, how it made people feel seen, where it succeeded, but also maybe where it fell short. So I'm going to go into a little bit of background history so you don't know what Savage X Fenty is. Savage X Fenty was founded by Rihanna in 2018, which I feel like we just talked about Rihanna in another episode, but Rihanna founded this in 2018. It's a lingerie brand centered around inclusivity, accessibility, and self-expression. It's known for its wide size ranges of bras, underwear, bodysuits. It's also very gender inclusive, and its mission is kind of centered around confidence and not perfection. Now, a little bit about the Savage X Fenty fashion show. In 2019 was the first fashion show that they held during the New York Fashion Week, where it was positioned as an alternative to traditional runway shows. So this show was different because it had a wide range of body types. It had plus size models, pregnant models, trans and non-binary models, as well as models from different heights, skin tones, and abilities as well. So some cool people that were in it, like Normani, Paloma Assessor, if I'm pronouncing that. I'm probably messing that up so badly, but Paloma, hey girl. And then Jamila Jamil also was in there as well. But it was also really cool because it shifted fashion shows from being an exclusive industry event to something that was more global and entertainment forward. So they blended fashion with dance and music and storytelling and a lot of cool things as well. It got a lot of praise and it got a lot of critiques. It went viral across social media platforms because it rejected the traditional thin, tall, uniform runway standard that there was. And it got a lot of praise because it looked at fashion shows in a very different lens. And it positioned lingerie as for the wearer and not as for the male gaze, which was really cool. It did get criticism, which we'll chat about as well today. Sustainability of inclusivity beyond marketing, and whether inclusivity was for the aesthetic or whether it was actual like a structural change that people wanted to be made. So first kind of question that I have, kind of thinking back a few years, 6 years ago almost, 5-6 years ago, what was your initial reaction to the Savage X Fenty fashion show? What stood out to you?
I remember being so excited about this because before all we really had in this like lingerie runway world was Victoria's Secret, and they have had a multitude of issues in the past and with not being inclusive at all. So like to finally see people who like look like me, shade wise, body wise, be put on like such a international platform, I remember being very, very excited. And I love Rihanna, so I was just also like, wow, like this is so cool. Now she's got like her business as well, aside from the music. So I thought it was like a really cool opportunity for a lot of women to see themselves on the front stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like in a lot of ways it across Savage X Fenty, but then also she had like her makeup brand too. She kind of forced this like diversity lens that for a lot of brands to look through, because it was like after she did this fashion show, and then after she released her makeup, it's like, oh wait, I guess we do need more than like one black shade, or like I guess we should do things in like different sizes. So it was really cool just to kind of see people that like look like you on the runway acting with Amaya.
Yeah,
Faith, what about
I
you?
agree. And I think also, like, the production was just insane. Like, it wasn't just like one stage, the girls just walking down, doing their little pose and turning around. Like, it was really different sets. I'm like, really, well, like, knowing production now, I just remember watching it and I'm just like, how the fuck did she do this live? But clearly there's like recording and different cameras and all these other aspects tied to it. But there was like a green setting with like green grass and all of that. And then like the Normani her set, and they're like all the models are like dancing and doing all these little looks. So just like it was just a lot more like production value to it, and just a lot of thought put into it. Whereas like of course like you have like your New York fashion shows and like Paris or whatever. Like I think they're starting to get like a lot more creative in like what they do. Or for like the fashion shows that are broadcasted, which is mainly like very secret one, it was just so boring compared to that. So like the different performances and just like it was just like crazy to be honest. Yeah, I'm like her brain. Of course, she has like a team of people. So like put their all her team and Rihanna putting their brains together to be able like to create this like I don't even know what to call it because it wasn't just a fashion show. Like just thinking back, it was just so many different aspects and so many different things to it. I'm like, this is a movie basically. So I thought that was
I think I kind of have a similar sentiment. And like, I used to always say I wanted to be a model growing up. That was like my dream job. But like, when you look at the Victoria's Secret runway show, there's not a lot of black women that are walking. Like, let's be serious. So when I saw this, it's just like saw so much opportunity. And I feel like what stood out to me was like the confidence of the women. Like, it was that their body types, their skin complexion, all of that was being celebrated rather than like, oh, you're the one like token rather than. So I think that's what stood out to me is that it was celebrating like all the differences that women have and like rather than making a fashion show, a runway show about a specific body type or a specific aesthetic. So I thought that was really cool. Kind of in that same realm, do you feel like this fashion show, this Savage X Fenty's fashion show, was able to redefine the definition of body inclusivity or the model body?
I think so, only because I think it was like the year after, for like a couple of years, Victoria's Secret was like, we actually won't be doing our show. Like, because I think like everyone was like kind of like, oh, this isn't inclusivity.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of like woke a lot of people up to, okay, Victoria's Secret's just kind of like stuck in their ways and they're not, willing to be inclusive. So I think so in that realm. I mean, I actually saw like a lot of mixed opinions on this. I saw a lot of people who were like, that's the appeal of being a Victoria's Secret model is that they are like
Yeah.
somewhat unattainable. And like they have this like very particular body type that like not everyone has, and like you kind of aspire to be them kind of thing. But I do think that they kind of like woke up a level of like diversity in the modeling industry. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely changed the game too because not only were they saying, okay, now we can have all of these beautiful, different women in a show, but also it sells. Like diversity makes money. I feel like for so long, the industry was afraid that, like, for some reason, if you show real bodies, people won't buy it. And no, like, I want to see what that would look like on me. Like, that is so important. Like, I don't know what size I am at your random store. So I think it definitely like pushed the needle as to what like could be inclusive wise. Because I feel like you wouldn't have like you maybe would have Skims, but like I feel like this really put forth like what Skims could be and like what it is now. I don't think Skims would be where it's at today without this like happening.
Funny thing after what you said, anytime I buy something from Fashion Nova, I always say like the body is not included in this item. Like it may look one way
It's
on
the
that
reverse.
picture.
yeah.
It will not look like that when you get here. Like it does not look like the no.
Mm-mm.
I agree with what you say. Faith, what about you?
Yeah, I think it also just kind of like challenged like other companies in a sense too. So it's like not only like does she have like all this hell the word. All these different women of different sizes and men too, on the fashion show, but like in her store, like it goes up to like a 3X, 4X. You go to Victoria's Secret, the biggest size is like XL. And I just bought some underwear from there because I was trying to get back on their way, and I stopped
Me too.
because it's so small. Like I am not, my butt is not that big. Like literally, put me next to someone else in Atlanta, and their butt is so much bigger than mine. And I can't even XL. My butt is eating the underwear. So I'm just like, bro, where am I supposed to go? But I think also it's just like more realistic. Like even with like Victoria's Secret, like just women, like even like they're supposed to be like lingerie and boobs, like all their models, like their breast sizes are like super small. Like, okay, lovely, but like everyone has different sizes. So it's like, why not even just have, even if they're like weren't thicker, why wouldn't someone think over there like, hey, let's have someone with bigger boobs or, just different things of that nature. And I think also, I don't know if, I can't remember if Rihanna added this in the 2018 fashion show or later on, but she even had different people of like who had disabilities. And I
Yeah.
can't remember like specifically like what was involved. But I thought that was really cool too because it really opens up a whole new door. It's like, okay, it's even people with like disabled bodies who can also wear the clothes and feel comfortable and feel free and feel confident. So I think that's important too because I feel like that's kind of a group of people that's like super forgotten.
Yeah, I love that piece as well. I think for me, I think it started a really important conversation about like what the model body is and that stereotype. I think that truthfully, like that stereotype is very deep. So I think that there is a lot that has to go into it to like actually fully change the game regarding like the stereotypical definition of a model body and just overall the stereotypes regarding the body type. But I think it started a really important conversation that I feel like other companies had to like take a step back and like look at themselves like, okay, like what are we doing? Like Victoria's Secret, what are we doing? Like those aren't the normal body types. Like those are not normal body types that like we're trying to sell our product to. So I thought it started a really important conversation that was really cool to see the aftermath of. I guess on a more personal level, how do you feel like seeing these diverse bodies on the runway impact how you feel about your own body and how you personally like buy clothes and shop?
I feel like it makes a huge impact. I know we're specifically talking about the Fenty runway show, but more recently they had their new, I think their second new version, Victoria's Secret had their runway and they had some diverse bodies on there. And I've always been like really aware of like what my body looks like, oh, I'm eating too much, or, I should go to the gym. And so seeing women with more like curvy, shapely bodies, especially like recently, now that I'm like an adult for real, I guess, I was like, wow, like this is so nice. Like she's so bad. Like I should not be afraid to like wear a swimsuit if she's like cheeks out, buns out on the like everybody can see it and she looks good and like she's rocking it and her confidence like says so much about her outfit. And so I'm like it was really inspiring to me to see any woman, no matter what they look like, really embrace like anything that would be perceived as like a con, like stretch marks or like rolls, big boobs, big butt, like all of that. I think now is just so much more out there and it makes me like want to be like more confident in my own personal life.
No, for sure. I think that, like, kind of to Amaya's point, all we were really seeing were model bodies growing up, and like that was what people were kind of aspiring to. And so, I don't know, seeing like these different body types being celebrated, it was just kind of like, oh, okay, like this feels attainable. This feels like me per se, versus like watching something be celebrated that like, oh, that will actually never be me kind of thing. It just kind of plants like a, okay, that's like an insecurity or like something that like I will never be able to emulate. um and so being able to like see something on such a big platform that like countered all of that was pretty cool.
Yeah, to your point, like I'm 5'1". I was never gonna be a 6 foot, 100 pound blonde,
Yeah.
blue-eyed woman. Like it was never gonna be me, no matter how much I worked out.
Yeah.
Facts. Same.
Yeah, I think to your point, Maya, like I think growing up too, I used to like look at different models. I'm like, wow, she's like so skinny, but it's like you're saying, like it's genetic. I was never going to get that small because I wasn't born with like that type of body or that type of figure. So I think it's also like let's stop selling like these dreams to, like little girls or whoever's watching that like this is the body you need to be because at the end of the day, a lot of those models were like super unhealthy. Like they're literally starving themselves, they're eating crackers every day. Like they're not healthy people. And of course, like things are coming out now, like later, of like the diets they had to do and like the workouts and just like the trauma that they went to just to be like these really thin and fit models, but like they weren't like, living like happy, healthy lives. And then one thing I think it also kind of ties into like I wish this was happening during like Raven's era when she was on Disney Channel. 'Cause I don't know if you guys remember, but like I feel like they used to always make it seem like she was like the biggest girl in the world. Like if you look back, that girl was small. Like she literally
No,
was
like
small. She was like a
normal
little thick,
size.
like was literally normal size, had a normal teenage body. She always looked so cute in her outfits. They just like covered her up so much, especially like to the girls compared to like all three other women in To the Girls. So it's just like looking back, I feel like TV and music, just the industry makes people who are just like basically people who have like regular bodies, make them feel like they're like so much bigger when in reality that's like a regular healthy body that we should like be um working towards when we're younger.
That I just read an article yesterday about Jordan Woods and was like, oh yeah, she started as a plus size model. Like, y'all, what?
Be so
What are we
serious.
talking about?
Yeah.
The definitions used to be so crazy. I feel like for me, like, if you met me, I'm a tall, very skinny girl, always have been. Like, it's been genetic. I'm not gaining weight, I've tried it all. But I think for me, like, it was really nice to be able to see, like, women that looked like my complexion. Like, I feel like I always used to watch Victoria's Secret, like, runway models, but, like, they did not have any, like, black models almost ever. But, like, if they did, it was, like, a very, like, defining characteristic like that made them who they are, that made them stand out. I don't have a defining characteristic like that. So I think it was really nice to be able to see like the diversity in skin complexions, and also like I have the stretch marks, I have all that, and like their bodies were perfect. Like there was no flaw on them. So it was good to be able to see that like the perfect body type like that they were showing on these Victoria's Secret fashion shows is not reality. To like see the flaws, to see like, but it's still celebrated in such a beautiful way, I thought was really cool to see. Okay, so now bringing it to very, very relevant now, pop culture. So pop culture and the media have kind of shifted how we define or look at body positivity. So how have you seen the new definition of the perfect body in today's terms in pop culture, in the media, and whatever it may be? How do you kind of see what that definition, how has it changed? And how does that change kind of how you look at the definition of body positivity?
It's interesting because I feel like I haven't lived like a ton of years, but I feel like the perfect body has like changed so much, like multiple times since like I've been growing up. Like at one point, everyone wanted to be skinny, and then at another point, it was like, oh no, everyone should want to be thick, like Kim Kardashian, but like that's what we're kind of going for. And then it really just goes in waves based off of like what the trend is, I guess. It's just really interesting. I don't know. It can be difficult. I think similar to what you said, Amaya. I think I've always been like very hyper conscious of my weight and how I look. Like you met Michael, you met Brooklyn, both very tall, like very skinny, and I always kind of felt like the black sheep of the family that like wasn't built like that, I guess. And so I think like also paired with the fact that like we went to all white K through honestly a high school, and like they were very like standardly built, like tall, slim. Like so it's like, okay, that's what I need to be aspiring to. And it kind of like felt like the, I don't know, stored them out there. But I think that now that I'm older, I'm like, it's interesting because it's like, I don't have the perfect body by any means, but like, I do recognize that there are some aspects of my body that like white women are paying tens of thousands of dollars, like get like certain curves and like to like get their boobs a certain size and XYZ. And it's so interesting now being able to look back on it and being like, I would have given anything, like wished anything away for like a slimmer, thinner body growing up, and only if I would have like known as a high schooler that like no, like you just wait in like 5-10 years, the girls are gonna be like wanting what you have,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So it's interesting how it kind of like ebbs and flows over time too.
Yeah, I feel like as our standards for society like has changed, so has like the expectations for women's bodies. I remember also like I feel like it has to do with like what media you're consuming, because when I was younger, I was going to like black schools and or schools schools with mostly black kids, and like I remember then, like, I never really like thought about my body as much until I went to a mostly white school. and that like changed the game. Like it was like if you didn't have a thigh gap, like I used to try to figure out
Oh
how I
my
could
gosh.
stand
No,
to
for
like
real.
look like I
Yeah.
had.
No, for
It was
real.
not happening. It was not happening. I remember like being like so like how can like I used to Google like how can I get a thigh gap, and that's like impossible. You can't do that. And I saw one of my like Pinterest boards. I don't know what I had titled it, but it was like pretty much like body like inspo, and it was like all like skinny white girls on this board. And I was like, what was I thinking? But that was like what I was around, what I was surrounded by. And now I feel like it shifts back and forth between like what I'm seeing online between like the like really want to be like skinny with like I was about to say opioids with Ozempic.
Oh.
I get so many like GLP-1 like commercials on my
Wow,
TV, so
so
I feel like
sick.
that's like a really big push. But then you go to the club and it's like, no, these girls got BBL. So it's like, where's the
Mhm.
disconnect? Like I'm hearing online, people like, oh, want to be skinny, and then you're like on the train, you're like, people just look regular and normal. So I feel like the more you consume, that like leads you to believe what people are like, what everyone is doing, but none of it's true. It's just all propaganda.
I think to that point too, and there's something else I think Brooklyn mentioned is that like all of the Victoria's Secret models have like perfect bodies and like all of that. Once you realize how much Photoshop and like editing goes into this stuff, like the girls are spray tanning down to like make sure that not a stretch mark is in sight. Like black, white does not
Yeah.
matter. Like they're like covering it up like with makeup and spray tan and all these different things. And even like Instagram photos, like the level of editing, like literally morphing bodies. Like, oh, I want my stomach to be flatter, so I'm going to push it in on this like
Mm-hmm.
software. I think that like once I realized how much of that was going into social media, I was like, okay, this it's just not real. None of it's real anyway. So
Zendaya, because they had like posted this picture of her so like Photoshop had like brought her thighs and like all this stuff, and she had to
yeah,
post the originals. Like, I'm sorry, like this is not what my body looks like, y'all. Like,
Mm,
please,
yeah.
it was
do
Photoshop.
not
They
compare.
photoshopped it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think exactly what Bria said. Like, nothing online is real. Like, even if you're watching like a show, like you can edit video now to like where you can Photoshop people's bodies and skin tones, and like it's called like a beauty edit. Like, nothing that you see is real. So I think it sucks because it's like people are like looking at like influencers and people's bodies and like, oh, I want to look like this. Like, oh, I can't work out. I just have like I can't work out or like figure it out on my own body. Like, I have to just like go get a BBL or go get surgery or whatever, whatever. But it's like you're doing like all of this for like a body that you think society like will accept you for. When like reality, like especially like on the men's side, like men be dogging BBL, like dog. Like, I feel like women do like a lot to like try to like conform to like what they think men will like. When half the time men are like, I just want a natural body. Like, I don't want any of this. So I'm really curious, like what started like BBL and like the slim thick or whatever, like trend too, because it's like that wasn't. I don't know. I feel like women are like, oh, that's what men want, but it's like men are like, I do not want that. So it's like, who put that in the system? Probably some white man trying to tear us down again. But I just feel like, yeah, like you guys were saying, like none of it is real. So I think it's like really, I honestly think it's like weird, and I think it just sucks because it's like people can't actually like the bodies that they have now, and then of course if you like have the money to like change things, like do that. But I think also it's like I don't know, like maybe give yourself some time, like if you're especially not 30 yet, like even if you're not even 40 yet, if you haven't had kids, if you don't having kids, like your body's going to morph and change like so much. I've like realized that throughout the years. Like I'm almost 30 and I'm like my body was once this. I had gained a whole bunch of weight. I lost all the weight. My body looks different. So it's just like I don't know. I feel like you can morph your body into like a little bit of what you want, but like also you should only do it I feel like people are just doing it for the wrong reason. Like, do it because if you want to do it for yourself, sure. But then also, it's like, are you really doing it for yourself, or are you doing it so you can take an Instagram picture, and then you're gonna get the surgery, and they're still going to Photoshop it, and like, what is the point?
Yeah. Yeah.
For 100 likes, I'm sorry, it's just too bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Similar kind of response to this as Amaya, and like the trends change so frequently. I remember when like the hourglass body first became like a thing. A woman, craziest part, came to me and was like, "Skinny bodies aren't in anymore. We're now onto this body type. You're not going to be wanted as skinny anymore." And I'm like, "This is my body. I can't
What?
change
That
it."
is
What are you
That's
talking
insane.
about?
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? And so it was just and like the hourglass bodies were like this, like the waist was this thin. I was never gonna be that. Like, ever. Ever. So it was just like it just became so unrealistic. And I think like it was the thing of like video vixens and like Instagram models and like Instagram
Yeah.
baddies, like where like people are seeing this body, but like I was saying, like these are photoshops. These are work being done sometimes. Like, yes, they can be natural bodies as well, but like that's the majority doesn't have this natural body type where their waist is that thin and the rest of the body like is that beautiful of an hourglass shape. Majority of people don't have that natural body. So I think it's just been really interesting to see how things have just like changed so quickly. One of the funniest examples I think is Khloe Kardashian when like she went on, she had that like, oh, healthy journey, like I'm eating healthy, working out type thing. Look at how my body changed. That was the craziest thing to me because everyone knew she got work done, but she was like, "No, y'all, I've just been working out. Like I've been in the gym."
Well, you're never
It was
getting
like,
that butt at the gym, bro.
thank you. It's just adding to the propaganda. Like you're just adding to it. You're not helping. And so I think it's just been really interesting to see like how it's evolved, but like how things are being how people are feeding into it, but like we need to take a step back and like look at the real picture. Two quicker questions. First, really briefly, what responsibility do you think brands have in maintaining body inclusivity, but also body positivity in the clothes and work and whatever they do?
I have maybe a hot take. I actually don't know that I believe that brands really have that responsibility as long as they're okay with not capturing a full audience. Like,
Yeah.
I think a good example is Victoria's Secret, and I think that they've like fake wanted to like increase their diversity, but like as Faith shared a little bit earlier, she bought the underwear as of a couple of days ago, and it's still like the same bullshit sizing. So like I think in that case, like some brands they just do target certain body types, and as long as they're okay with the fact that their reproduce might not match that and they're like missing a whole audience, then like you can like stand in that identity. Honestly, I don't know that it's nice, and I think it's great, and I think that I'm much more willing to spend my money on brands that are willing to be inclusive and that have sizing that fits me. But I just won't spend my money with brands that don't also. So
Yeah, I think brands can definitely do a better job about that. And then I also think as a consumer, like you're saying, Bria, like, well, if you can't fit clothes there, then like why go shop there? And I have learned my lesson. I think. No, I have.
same, literally
I've
same.
learned my lesson the hard way with stores like Princess Polly. No matter how many times, no matter what my weight was, every time I would order for them, I like couldn't fit the clothes or they just like
Yeah.
wouldn't look right. And I kept trying. And eventually I was like, yo, girl, you've got to stop. Like clearly this store just isn't for you.
Yeah.
Opali is another one that's like that. Where like I'm literally like a US size 8. I am not a US size 8.
That's crazy.
It makes no sense their sizing transitions. But like literally I ordered my normal size with them. I couldn't even get my thigh in. I said, "Oh, oh."
Like who is
Get
fitting
here.
that?
Huh?
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I agree with you. Okay, kind of going into listener questions now. Question that we got was, what makes you feel confident in your body? Maybe we can do this a speed round. What makes you feel confident in your body?
Clothes that fit well.
Mm.
You've got to
Mhm.
have clothes that fit well because there's clothes that fit well for everybody. You just have to find those stores and brands that have your correct sizing and that are made for your body type. It's so important.
I agree with
I feel most confident when I'm like actually taking care of my body. And even if it's like not, if I don't see like massive changes in my body, the fact that I'm like up and moving and walking or running or like at the gym or something, I do feel more confident because it's like, okay, I'm taking care of it at least.
That was mine off of that. I was gonna say like feeling good internally, like with what I'm eating, like drinking my water, like my skin starts glowing, like those little things make me feel confident rather than like my hourglass body shape.
Literally, I feel like all three is a trifecta. Like you have to eat well, take your ginger shots, do all of that. You have to work out, take your walk, but then you have to shop for your body type. Like I don't know what my body type like name, but like the older you get, you learn like, okay, this top looks cute on her, but that will not look cute on me.
Mm.
These pants fit me better. So I think also as being really realistic, like people will buy stuff, like you guys were saying, like people will buy stuff and like try to wear it and like might not feel as confident, but it's like, well, because that outfit is really not made for your body type. So I think the older you get, you're less about like, oh, I want to wear this top because it's so cute and everyone else is wearing it. You're more so like, I'm gonna wear something that's actually flattering, and I'm not gonna be like pulling it down the whole time or like putting it
Yeah.
back on my shoulder. Like you don't want to go out and be uncomfortable, but you still want to.
Love that answer. Last segment of the episode, Put Me On and Put That Down, where we give you our recommendations, but also what we think you should put down. This theme is Body Positivity Edition. So I can start my Put Me On, kind of what Amaya? No, what Bria was mentioning earlier. Take care of yourself internally rather than doing things that are going to change you externally. Eat healthy, go work out just because you're actually moving. Go on a walk, even though it's not going to give you this perfect figure that you want to get. Doing things that take care of your body internally is way more important. And then might put that down, negative body talk. Talk positively about our bodies. Like we all have different body types. Let's celebrate that. Let's be confident in that and not talk negatively about our bodies.
I love that. That's important to keep in mind. For my put me on this week, working out for your body type and then also like eating for your body type. I found this girl, I don't know her name, so I do apologize, but she is an influencer and she has these workouts by butt shape to like round out or like however you want your butt to look. And I really wanted like a heart shape or like more like a round glute shape, but like naturally I have like a more square glute. So she would give like workouts for that body, that butt type to make it look more round. So that is like super important when you're like doing your strength training. And then for putting down, we talked about it a little bit earlier, just comparing yourself to people whose job is to look a certain way. Like it's so hard to compare. You shouldn't compare yourself to influencers whose entire career is to look good. They have nothing else to do besides eat healthy and work out. Like, no offense, but they should look like that. Like other people have real responsibilities. They don't got the time to dedicate themselves to that. And that's okay.
I love that. So my put me on is getting your clothes tailored to fit you the way you want it to fit. So of course I know tailoring costs a lot of money. So if you have like someone in your family or a friend or even learning yourself, like I want to learn how to like I know you guys are doing, but how like just pin up my pants a little bit and take it in the way. But it just makes like such a difference. I feel like I have clothes in my closet that I haven't touched in 5 years because I'm like, okay, when I lose some weight, I'm gonna wear it. Okay, cool, I lost the weight, now they're too big. And then that's it. My closet even longer. But I'm just like, once you just take them in like a little bit or lift them up or like doing whatever to your clothes so they actually fit your body, it just makes such a difference. And then put that down. Basically what you guys were saying, stop being unrealistic about what type of body you want based off of like social media and like other outside factors. Like everyone again like has different body type. So if you don't love the body you're in, that's fine. But I think there's lots of natural ways that you can, shape and form the body that you want. If you do have to get something done, that's fine. But I think you should try all the ways first until you get
Those are good ones. My put me on. This is a little bit different, but Abercrombie jeans, since we're talking shopping for your body type,
People love
I
them.
think that
10
oh
out
my
of
gosh,
10.
they have
10 out
the
of 10.
best jeans. I've also heard a lot of good things about Khloe Kardashian's brand, ironically enough. I can't
They're
remember the name
so
of it.
good, actually.
I've
Good
heard a lot of good
American.
things. Yeah, I've heard
American, yeah.
Good
good
American, yeah.
American. Yeah,
They're
I've heard
actually
a
very good.
lot of good things about her brand too, which is funny enough that she's come up a lot of times during this episode. But Abercrombie jeans, I can vouch for. They have like a curve love kind of brand that is like meant for curvy girls. They have different lengths, sizes, like stretchiness, materials, all of that. So they are like the jeans that I swear by. I feel like every time I wear jeans that are not by them, I'm like, oh my gosh, these don't fit or these look so ugly. So I like swear by Abercrombie jeans. Similar to what you all were saying too, like comparing bodies or like dream bodies is also like something that I'm putting down. So like for example, as terrible as she was, when Huda stepped foot in that villa in Love Island, I said,
Child.
Oh, I said, oh, you're the one. You are my new body goals. And is that realistic? No, because she's classic surgery down. But it was like,
But crazily, Andreina, she was like, "Oh, my body's real. Ah,
yeah.
that's my body. Like, dang, can I be that?"
Yeah. No, and I remember seeing Huda and being like, that is like what I want to look like. That is going to be my motivation for being in the gym.
Really?
Yes, but like obviously unrealistic because she's gotten so much surgery done. But I think that it's important to note that like even if her body was natural, completely natural, I could do everything I could in the gym and I still might not look like that. So I think like that's how you get to like a point of like stressing yourself out or, you know, killing yourself over wanting a certain body type. And it's just not attainable. And then also I want y'all to put down all this heavy editing and like 5-layer filters. Like it's just,
Please.
we left that
Please.
years ago. Let's just leave it there because like the worst is when like the wall is like crooked in the background and it's like, all right,
Missing a finger.
yeah, like we saw what you did here, so
Wait, I'm
let's
gonna
put that down.
put that down also. I'm gonna add the crazy unhealthy dieting plans to get to a certain body type.
Yeah,
lose
yeah.
a bunch of weight so
flat
quickly.
tummy tees.
We didn't talk about those. I was thinking about it briefly. Some of these plans are crazy, y'all.
Yeah.
Crazy. I was like, oh, I haven't
Dangerous.
eaten in 4 days. I'm only drinking water. Like, relax, y'all. Y'all gotta eat
Yeah,
something. Or like even
Yeah.
I told you I used to want to gain weight, and there used to be this liquid that everyone used to say, go drink this liquid and it'll help you gain weight because you'll want to eat. And I went to mom and I was like, Mom, let me buy this liquid. And she was like, bro, what is this? It's a random liquid on a random website. Be serious. So stop the dieting plans and the random things to help you lose or gain weight.
Yeah, that's a good one. That is a good one. Well, that wraps up this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you want to submit any listener questions, send us an email at theheysisterpod@gmail.com. Make sure you leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We are still a new podcast and we do appreciate your reviews. If you do not have 5 stars to leave us, don't leave us anything at all. Send it to the email if you have a complaint. And then also, if you could follow us on social media at the Hey Sister Pod on all platforms, stay connected with us and hear all about our new episodes. But with that, thank you guys so much for listening. We will see you next week. Bye, sisters.
Bye,
Bye,
sisters.
sisters.